Hello and welcome to Nemesis the Warlock on the Commodore 64, and this was released by Martech in 1987 and it's based on a story and characters from the 2000 AD comic. I never read it back in the day, so I can't judge how good this is as an interpretation of the characters or the themes. I don't know. I can only judge it as a game in its own right, and let's get started. So the idea is that you've got to clear each screen of these bad guys who are called Terminators, and you start off with a sword, which you can see, and when you kill each Terminator, they don't disappear. What happens is their corpse stays on the screen, which was quite a unique feature back in the day, and it's not just a gimmick because you can actually pile the corpses up and use them as platforms. So I can use it as a platform there. It's quite handy actually. It does add something to the game, especially in some of the levels. Some of the layouts in the levels is quite handy to sort of make your own platforms to get round. So you don't just have a sword. You've also got a gun, but you don't have any ammunition. So at the bottom of the screen you see sort of three grey, I think they're boxes, three grey boxes. You pick them up and they've got ammunition in them. But you can only, each box contains 12 and you can't stockpile them, you can only have a maximum of 12, so you've got to work out when to pick them up. And there's one other, in fact I'll pick up a box now. There's a bit of flicker there actually. And when you pick up the gun, you can see right away when you press fire, he doesn't fire right away, he pulls out the gun first and then you can continually press fire. So you can't really shoot an enemy if he's too close to you, because by the time you pulled out the gun and fired, the round tends to sort of go by him. So let's pause the game and talk about the status panel. So at the bottom left it says 13, that's how many Terminators I have to kill to complete the level. And above that is a picture of a hand crushing a heart. That's your energy. Once the hand has crushed a heart totally, it's game over because you only get one life. Next to that is a sort of green looking, I think it's a picture of Nemesis, I think it's a picture of his head. It's a bit indistinct, but I think that's what it's supposed to be. And it says number 1, that's your acid spit. It's basically a smart bomb. You just press space and it fires a smart bomb which will kill everything in its path, but you only get given one per level, but I think if you don't use it, it does carry over to the next level. So you can sort of stockpile them a little bit. Next to that is a picture of a gun, and it says 2, that's how many bullets I've got left. So what I'll do is unpause and I'll just pick up the next box. You've got to watch, when you kill these Terminators, you've got to watch the corpse doesn't land on top of the ammunition box, because if that happens you lose the ammunition box, you just can't get to it. So just wasted a bullet there. Now sometimes when you kill a Terminator, you hear a sort of strange high-pitched sound, and that means that a zombie is going to rise out of the corpse. And the zombies do take a few hits to kill, and they do really take your energy down if you touch them. So you've got to, I find it best to avoid them really. I don't like shooting them because they take 3 or 4 shots. That's quite a lot of ammunition. One thing you've also got to watch is so there's a zombie going to appear now on the right hand side of the screen. One thing you've got to watch is enemies that are on the platforms above and below you, because your character, well, all the characters, they're slightly taller than the height between platforms. So if an enemy on the platform above touches your head, you will lose energy. So you've got to keep an eye on that. Just one left to kill. Is he going to jump? No. The enemy AI is actually not too bad. Quite often they get to the end of a platform and they don't take the path that you want them to. Sometimes you want them to jump up and they don't, or sometimes they do and you don't, like there. So I ran out of energy. So when you first play the game, you think it looks quite simple, but there's more to it than first meets the eye. It's hard to define what sort of game it is. It's not just a platform game, and there's elements of shooting, sort of hacking with the sword. There's some slight tactical elements, because you've got to be careful where you kill the guys. You don't want them to land on top of the ammunition. And you've got to keep an eye on enemies above and below you, so there's a bit more to it than first appears. Yep, so I've lost that ammunition box now because I was a bit careless. And I couldn't shoot that guy because he was too close to me. I'm making a bit of a hash of this, so I think I'll just deliberately get myself killed and start again. Right, now when you kill the required number of Terminators, well, I said the level appears. It doesn't appear. The level exit is invisible. So you've got to either exit the left, right, top or bottom of the screen. Now it's not random. It does appear in the same place on each actual individual level. So on the first level, it's always on the right hand side. On the next 3 levels, I think it's at the top, because there is a map kicking around in the game. So it's worth studying that, or making your own really, if you're that way inclined. So it's not random, but yeah, it's... I suppose if you don't have a map, but then it can be a little frustrating trying to find out where the bloody exit is. But it's just one of the extra features of the game. Right, I'm going to use my spit breath here. There we go. One of the... I've got 2 main criticisms of this game. First of all, it's too hard. I mean, I'm struggling to get off the first screen here. I've played it a few times and I've got as far as level 3. And I say there's 24 levels. Trying to get to level 24 must be nearly impossible. Well, without a trainer anyway, it must be impossible. Now, you only get 1 life, but your energy is topped up at the end of each level. So you pretty much get a whole life to complete each level. So I suppose if you're really all over the gameplay, it might be possible, but I find it pretty tough going. So that's my first criticism of the game. My second criticism of the game is that complete lack of variety between each level. It's just doing the same thing. Now, the level layout does change, so there is a little bit of variety, and you can pile the corpses up to create your own platforms. So that, I say, that does add something, but yeah, even most shoot 'em ups tend to have some variety, whether it's new... Right, I think I've managed to complete this. Yep, there we go. So here we are, next level. But as you can see, there's no variety in the graphics. There's no variety in the enemies. It's just, you know, if it had been just like new enemies introduced or something, then that would have kept you interested. But short term, the game is a lot of fun. I really can't criticise the gameplay. It's quite satisfying just slaughtering all these Terminators and watching the corpses pile up. It is quite good fun. So yeah, from that point of view, I think it's a good game. I don't think it's a great game. I think it just falls a little short of being a great game. So I'll give it 7 out of 10. Because it is quite a good game, but it just needed a bit more variety and needed to be a bit easier. Yeah, the graphics are okay. I think. I mean, they're a bit sort of. I wouldn't say poorly defined, but they're sort of a bit indistinct. I don't mind the colour scheme. I think it's quite sombre. I think it suits the game. Sound effects are sparse, but they're pretty good. I like the music on the title screen. It's a bit long. It doesn't really go anywhere, but it sets the atmosphere. I think sets the tone pretty well. It's quite dark and foreboding. But yeah, it's quite a good game to pick up and play. Recommended. Right, that's all for this video. See you in the next one.